You know what, Randy? You start whenever you're ready, and I
right,
promise not to put a hat on you.
All right, go ahead. Put a hat on me. So let me ask you a question. Each of you have independent businesses. How do you get your leads or prospects? Just shout out.
Cold call.
Cold call?
Recommendations, existing relationships.
Any others?
My program.
You have a program to do that, Ron?
Strategic alliances.
Okay, strategic alliances. On average, how many new prospects or leads do you get a week? Roughly. 1?
2 to 3.
2 to 3? 10?
5 to 10.
100? Okay, and how many of those do you typically convert to clients? Half?
90%.
90%? Wow, 90%. Well, what if there was a way that you could get 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more leads or prospects than you could today? Would you be interested? That's probably why you're here today. Because the lovely Miss Jenna Apgar is going to tell us about systems that can help you generate more leads automatically. It's not magic. It's not sham. It's using social media technology that people like me don't understand because I'm old.
Digital.
But it's digital. And so we're going to learn today how to leverage some of that new digital technology to grow our businesses quicker. So with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce Miss Jenna Apgar.
Jenner.
Jenna, stand up.
Jenna, is she related to Bruce?
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
That's the last time you're coming, buddy. You're out.
That's it.
Am I good?
His name is Red.
I see what kind of crowd this is going to be. I'm going to dish it if y'all keep dishing it. So this is rather new to me. We just recently got our Yelp certification. There will be a few rants in here. If y'all know me, y'all know that's fairly typical and everything. Randy's over here like, obviously. The presentation is not completely built. It is completely built enough for you guys, but it is working on making it a 2-hour presentation. So there's a couple of things that are just not for you guys.
Gals.
Guys and gals, it's all the same to me. And some of it might be a little higher level or lower level. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about will help you most if you have a physical location. So even detailing, I know you run out of your home, you're still like the type of business structure, Ryan. Rayanne, same thing with you. The greenhouse, when you have a location, you could use your own house for now. But this is mainly, and for those online, this is especially true when you actually have a brick and mortar business, whether it be B2B or B2C. The strategies I will discuss are predominantly still going to be business to consumer. This is Yelp. At this point in time today, mostly business to consumer type of searches, although I do see that changing in the near future. Hint, hint. The essential is how to build your first funnel with absolute zero tech skills. Does anybody even believe me when I say that? Sure. Sure, oh my gosh.
No, anything you say.
Usually when they say funnel, they're like, oh, how much is it going to cost me? For those online and for anybody in here, again, mostly it's going to be those brick and mortar and B2C. If not you, then if you know another business owner, if you would like a free Yelp audit, fairly comprehensive, very detailed, the kind of information you cannot get yourself, or in this case your friends, email me with the email that I'm sending it to and a link to their Yelp website, and we can get you a free audit. First, I would just like to give everyone, clap your hands for David here. He did this image all on his own. I gave him nothing.
Whoa.
No ideas.
There is hope.
I wanted to follow. I was like, oh my God, I thought nobody was following me when I tried to get them to use Snap, Canva, and some of these graphic design tools. David shot that over. I was like, whoa, whoa. He did that all by himself.
And it wasn't hard.
And it wasn't hard. Part of what I kind of want to discuss too is the crazy mistake that doubled leads in 3 days. Anybody care to hear about that?
Absolutely.
It cost me $239 out of my own pocket, but for my client, double leads in 3 days. like I said, if you stay till the end, if you pay attention, if you're interested, we'll do the Yelp audit. And that can be really comprehensive, so that's why I had it over here. This was one we just ran for a client who actually signed on with us, and we could tell at one individual store they had 5. There were over 13,000 searches and page views that they could show up in just for their type of store. Most of them unbranded. In that particular arena, only 6% of those searches were branded or had ads in them. We can tell exactly how many page visits, how many times somebody called, asked for direction. If you're calling a business from Yelp or asking for directions, do you think that's a good lead? At the point that you're getting directions or clicking call, I mean, if you hit website, I mean, that's cool, but you might still be researching there at the bottom of the funnel kind of phase. At the point you're asking for directions or call, you've kind of made a decision, right? And we can see where that's at and even what kind of problems you're having on the page. Normally $250 is what we're going to start charging for that because it takes me about 2 hours to do. There's my little Yelp cert hiding in the corner. I think I'm going to create one of those, like, was it Girl Scout vests to put all the badges. Disclaimer, we do like to say that we like to double business, right? And I said double the leads in 3 days, right? This particular audit that I'm kind of measuring it off in the business, at their lowest performing location is turning $30,000 in profit. So why do I say that? Because double of 0 is still 0. So if you have no leads and you have no business and you didn't sign on a client today, double of 0 is still 0. There's a lot to do. But I would like to put a couple things in perspective. Assuming you've only built a bridge to double your business and you only built one a year and you worked really slow and you did everything yourself and maybe it was terrible. If you made $1,000 a month and doubled it, that's 2. You double it to 4, and if anybody knows large number theory, the doubling starts to get really big really quickly.
Oh, compounding.
Compound interest, not quite interest. I can vouch for those numbers myself. I can vouch for year 1, this is about where I was. Year 2, this is about where I was. Last year, this is where I was. This year, because we have a lot more bridges in place that were whole, because we decided to build whole bridges ourselves, this is going to be closer to 500. So doubling works. My frustration and my little rant is this. I've been very frustrated watching many of the networking grouping people not build whole bridges. So if nothing else today, can I ask for one promise if you actually have a business location? That you just build at least the free bridge today that I'm going to show you. If it only takes you an hour. Is that fair?
Yep.
Fair? Okay.
Randy will take 2 with the.
Please don't use the superpowers for evil. If you sell garbage products, don't put false claims out there, all right? So the 3 secrets we're going to discuss today, oh my gosh, they're out of order. The third one will be how to get your competitors' customers to flip to the good side as opposed to the dark side, which of course is you, right? How to implement the entire customer value journey in 1 hour. So if anybody's watched me before, that whole 8 steps, 1 hour worth of work, whole thing. Kind of cool, huh? And a backlink to the number 21 site on the entire internet for free. That's their number. Today, as of today, it's number 33. They're slipping, or maybe they just got that at a different point in time. But my research says 33, but that's still not bad.
Yeah.
And anybody who's wondering kind of what that's from, every backlink to your website from a really high-ranking website makes your business look better and you get higher organic search engine results. First one, secret number 1, to get it backlinked, I fixed it on this one, to the number 33 site and the entire US internet, absolutely free. All you have to do is add yourself to Yelp. You might already be there. I found that to be the case for the business I looked up yesterday. They had a Yelp page, but they hadn't claimed it yet. I had a Yelp page that someone had it for me that I had not claimed yet. So when they went to go set up my partner portal, they're like, okay, well, where's your business? Because they build it off of that. And I was like, I don't know, I don't have a page. And so she was like, well, yeah, you do. It's not claimed. I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. So really basic stuff. Go there and update your business information. And this is actually kind of, I'm going to breeze through this because the first couple are across the internet. Facebook, Twitter, Yelp, Google+, wherever you're at, make sure it's the same across all platforms. That will take you about an hour because some of the platforms are a major pain in the tushy. Talking to you, Google+. Be consistent with your name. You cannot have a slightly different name at each location. And so I feel like that seems like common sense. It's not. I've seen several companies where it's different on every single location. That's actually the one we're modeling it after. Listen and learn. I don't care where somebody comments. I don't care if it's Facebook, Twitter, Yelp, Google+. If they leave a review, if they leave a comment, oh my gosh, respond. I see too many where it's like, oh, I don't have time for that. You don't have time to address somebody leaving garbage about you all over the internet? If the dog poops in your house, do you clean it up?
Maybe.
Depends on
To
there.
let you know in a couple months.
You can set up a Google alert. This is free for any time your business is mentioned online. Now, if you start to get a bigger and bigger business, that becomes overwhelming and it's like a fire hose, so kind of like me talking. But for smaller business, this works really easy. And then claim your business. This goes back to the Yelp. Just on Yelp, on average, if you claim your profile, you're going to get 5 times the views. Now, I can't promise that you can convert those, but wouldn't you rather have 5 times more eyeballs on you? This goes back to basic algorithms. If you've not claimed your page, if they cannot verify because you haven't claimed your page, whether the information is good or not, if you've not looked at the information and updated it in over a year or added holiday hours, why in the world would that algorithm think that you're in business? You get pushed to the bottom. You be the best one in town. You get pushed to the bottom. So, kind of a why Yelp, right? And I'll address some elephants a little later. Before spending, this is Yelp's numbers. Yelp has a very unique thing, similar to very much like Google. It's an application, right? And when somebody downloads that, what do they say that it can do so that they can give better results? Can I track your location? Right? Kind of creepy. Kind of cool, though, for the business owner looking for data. Regardless of industry, regardless of platform, anywhere between 60 and 96% of all buying decisions start online with research before they ever call a salesperson. 82% are going to read reviews first. Do you have reviews? Do they suck? 57 are going to view your hours. Are you open? Hey, what about your special Christmas hours or Sunday hours? Making sure those are up to date. 50% view your website. I don't know how great that is, but that means they are kind of towards the bottom of the funnel. 48% are going to view your photos. Did you add any of your own? Are you going to depend on clients to add photos for you? And then in all this, people actually trust Yelp as the consumer. I'm not saying businesses love Yelp, but consumers trust Yelp. Of these, they're actually looking for businesses they can use on a regular basis. This isn't like a Groupon, where somebody could be a Groupon customer and never use your business again. People on Yelp are looking for regular businesses to use more than once. And most of them are going to share their experience. They're going to do things like check in, and I can talk more about that later. But my favorite one of all the ones in the data that I've been able to learn in the past couple weeks is 42% of the people who search on Yelp or who search on Google and Yelp shows up as the number one, at least the top 3 results that are organic. 42% purchase in one day. 42%, 79 within a week. If you have a business to consumer structure, that's kind of amazing. If you can pick out the best leads that, traditionally, because I think it said something in I'm the Cynic. It took poor Yelp and this poor little girl who did like the convincing 3 hours on the phone to convince me to even listen to her and sit down to possibly be a partner. And one of the biggest reasons why I was like, they go to Google, right? You have a problem, you go to Google. Most people, and I think what was the latest? It was like 61 or 67% of all people, skip the first 3 ads on Google. I mean the ad part on Google, and they go straight to organic results. Who's the #1 result usually in a business to consumer?
Amazon.
Yelp. If not for products.
Oh.
Products, Amazon's going to spank your tushy.
Right.
But when you're looking for restaurants, shopping, dentists, Yelp is going to come up. The only place I've not let not to be true is if it's interior design, House beats them out. And they're just going back and forth. That's kind of greatness. That's the whole reason to do Google Ads, is because that's where people are actively making buying searches, but Yelp is showing up. I don't actually have any slide in here, but the market share that Yelp has is kind of amazing. The only people who do not use Yelp ratings are Facebook and Google. I mean, the major ones that consumers actually know in this room. Anybody have an Alexa in here? Yeah, Alexa, the little Echo Dot or something like that?
Yeah.
They have everything for Amazon, so they have 93% of the market share because they have both all Apple and all Amazon goes to Yelp for ratings and reviews. So when you ask your Alexa for a recommendation on a restaurant or a bug guy, Alexa's going to spit out Yelp results. Now, while that might not be a huge thing right this moment, in the next 5 years, that's only going to grow and grow and grow. Whereas people see the Apple Home and the Alexa as an assistant inside the house. The only one they don't have is Google, which, little known fact, didn't know this, Google actually was using Yelp's reviews for the longest time. There was a little lawsuit about that, right? For those business owners who don't trust Yelp, I'm going to go ahead and address the elephant in the review room and a couple of the myths. It's not pay to play. This has been said lots of times amongst lots of business owners, and it was the first thing that I told Ashley, who's our partner at Yelp. And I gave her every single business owner I've ever heard say it. And she went to each one of their business pages and showed me what was going on with their page. Showed me the reviews they were getting, showed me how, they on average got 1 review every 6 months, and then all of a sudden they got 13 in 1 week. If you're an algorithm, do you find that normal? No, that's not normal. You don't go from 1 every 6 months to 13 in 1 week. And this was an actual friend of mine, his business, who he didn't like a couple of the reviews he got, so he went and paid for them. That's what it says. And the whole algorithm is there to squish bad reviews, fake reviews, rants from employees, or employees saying good things. So even on my client that we did the thing for, all his unrecommended reviews, the person only has like 1 review. They have no friends. They're not active. It's kind of like Facebook. When you get on it, you keep using it. And one of them was the owner. I was like, dude, what were you thinking? You can't go review all 6 stores. The other one is people only write reviews when they're angry or upset. 78% of all reviews on Yelp are 3-star or higher. They only write about restaurants.
Bless you.
The #1 section that gets the most searches is actually not even restaurants. Anybody have a guess of what kind of industry is #1 on Yelp? Shopping. #3 is home services, like pest control and handymen. So it is not just for restaurants at this point, and I can promise you, given our conversations, some of which were confidential, they're adding more and more. There's a ton of realtors on Yelp where they all have their locations. I've got mortgage bankers on here. This advertising person had to add hers. So as they grow and as they've moved past some of their lawsuits where there were some current concerns if it was pay to play, right? Now that they've gotten through all those, they're looking at expansion. So this is one of those opportunities. Facebook's developed now, Google's developed to get on something before it really moves forward. The reviewers are anonymous and therefore not as trustworthy. Yelp is trying to provide a platform that's not Facebook, but that there is a community. They have everything from elite Yelpers. I actually have 2 friends who are elite Yelpers. Literally, they check in everywhere they go. Have you ever seen people at the restaurants and they're just on their phone? Well, some of them are just playing and they have terrible social skills. Some of them are taking pictures of their food to post on Yelp. Simple things that you can do for free today. On a simplest level, just go to biz.yelp.com if your business is not already on Yelp and put it on Yelp. If you have a location, even if it's your house, because you're still kind of applicable, You have a website, go here. Yes?
What if you have more than one location?
Then you have to have a different Yelp page for each location.
Okay.
You have 2 locations?
Yes.
One is your house and the other one is...
Is another office I share with another therapist that I have access to on certain days.
I think I would just do that location.
Just do that.
That one exterior location, not your house. Because on, like, for the client we did, they have 5 separate locations. The idea is, think about like Walmart. Somebody might have a terrible experience at the Walmart on Coit, but the one on Legacy is awesome. So it is by location. Add your own photos. On a free level, you don't get to control them, but you do get to add them in there. You'll also be able to receive messages or quote requests from users. So this is like a private message on Facebook, if you're familiar with that. My client had this turned off. I was like, why would you do that? People are actively asking questions that are buying questions. Like, do you have this? When does this sale start? And they've got nothing. I was like, seriously? Really? Those are buyers. That's money. Update your information. Is the phone number the same? Are you going to be closed on Sundays? Whatever the information is, make sure it's a reflection. Make sure that you respond to your reviews, and you can track activity on your page. Google will let you have some information. Yelp gives you good information. This is where my attention got, you do the lean in. You're like, you've got my attention now. A Yelp user clicked call your business. That's a lead. I have the time that happened, the fact that it happened from an iPhone app. A man in his 20s from Fort Worth, Texas viewed the map for your business. Does that sound like a good lead for somebody who's actively looking for you? A man in his 40s from Tucson, Arizona clicked on your website.
That's Tucson.
Tucson, Tuscan?
Son of Tuck.
A Yelp user in Fort Worth. These are just, that's 2 days. I didn't even get the full for April 9th.
So can you backtrack, find out who that is?
So there are some new things coming out that are not so much applicable to you, maybe other people you know,
I don't mean.
where Yelp is rolling out Wi-Fi in your location. So think about the way that Starbucks offers Wi-Fi in their business, where they were able, so they did a test for someone in Canada, and I've seen advertisements. I've not really dug deep into that aspect because that's not so much my clients. They don't want people chilling in their space using the Wi-Fi. But yeah, they were able to track people, and you could see like they did this operation at 1 p.m., looked at maps at 1:05, got there at 1:20, and then they actually tracked the purchasing for that one location as a case study to actually track the ad spend. And I want to say the numbers, please don't quote me, were like 3 times higher for people on Yelp versus Google. But that one I can't remember. There's a lot of stuff. So complete your business information. This is something you can go home today. It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. It's Friday. I mean, you got a job, but not tonight, right? Do your business information. Add some photos. You got something. And if not, if David can use Snappa, you can come up with something, right? Manage your messaging requests. Make sure if you have any backdated ones. And add your specialties. So one of the things when we were going through different businesses, and I was giving her one that said, no, not for me, that didn't like Yelp, and she said, well, here's all her competitors, and that was the other thing, as a partner. Now, if you go advertise, you can't do this. As a partner, I can go look at what your competitors are advertising. That's kind of creepy, but I kind of like it. I'm okay with that. And they pulled up all these things for her. I'm like, no, those aren't her competitors. Her competitors are more children's locations. So I just identified that she's not properly marked on Yelp as a children's kids activity. And so I put out another person out there who would be a competitor, and they were closed. And so then we started fishing because, ADD, I'm going down rabbit holes, right? That company wasn't marked as a kids activity. So somebody was searching for kids activities, which there's a ton of searches of kids activities on Yelp. These locations aren't even showing up, even though they have a giant play place in their location for kids. That company went out of business. Do you think a small change could have completely changed their business?
Yes.
So managing your reputation, please go on there and just kindly respond to reviews if you get them. Kindly, unbiased. Let your wife do it if need be. Your husband, your kid, the stranger next door. Sometimes business owners have a tendency, and this was a couple of our clients, to respond a little passionately and defensively. I do the same. It basically comes down, Yelp actually says if it's a rant, not to respond, I disagree. Find something kind to say. And if it's so bad of a rant that you don't think it's worth, then you can report it. If you get a bad review on Yelp, you can report it. I've reported reviews for clients on their behalf and had them removed. If it doesn't meet the terms of service, it's not a good review. So you're just flagging it to attention. Now, if you earned it, you ain't taking it down. How to get reviews. This is a sticking point. I've actually gotten threatened this month for letting someone know they were actually flagrantly violating terms of service, offering 5-star. If you gave a 5-star review, showed it on your phone, they gave you free tickets. I was like, dude, you can't do that. Can I help you write some copy? He's apparently really important in Frisco. He's not happy with me.
Got a referral for you then.
First one is offer a great user experience. I put UX on there because that's the way I say it, and then I realized nobody actually knows what that means. If you have good customer service and you care about your clients, you're going to get good reviews. Remind them that you're on Yelp or Google Plus or Facebook. On Yelp specifically, set up a check-in offer. Why a check-in offer? You don't have to be advertising to do this aspect. For my client, it was a free product with purchase. The idea is to highly motivate them to do it. It can be a discount. It could be the free appetizer for a restaurant, something. When you do that on Yelp, then Yelp follows them around and says, can you rate this? Can you rate this? Can you rate this? And continues to ask them for a full review even after that, and we'll walk them through. Hey, do you have pictures? Hey, do you have video? Would you like to share it with your Facebook and Twitter friends? Get a link on your website just like you would Facebook or Twitter that says you're on Yelp, and respond to your reviews to create that sense of community. I just came back from a training where a young lady was saying that community will be the new brand. Anybody can brand, anybody can advertise. Can you build a community of people who like your brand? I'm going to finish through here real quick. I promise it's not that much longer.
You got 5 minutes.
How to implement the entire customer value journey in 1 hour or less. And I say 1 hour or less because I did 3 Yelp accounts in about an hour and a half. Not too shabby. They're kind of the same, so I got a little hookup, but nonetheless. Anyone seen that, right? For me to build that out in 3 months with ad spend on Google, on Facebook, with a brand new website, with lead gen, with all the email in between and all the copy and everything, that's how much it would cost if I'm doing Facebook and Google ads, assuming you have nothing to start with. Oops. So the Google ads, that's $1,500 a month. Ignore the how to get reviews on the top. Landing pages, $3,000 with a new website. CRM and drip starts at $5,000. Facebook retargeting, $1,000 a month with management and ad cost. And that formula right there has worked with my clients 100% of the time to double a business. But $16,000, right? Right there. We can start with free. Yelp is a search engine. It costs you nothing to add yourself. If you put all your history in there, all the details, your specialties, all that information, you've created engaging content, right? You're engaging and starting a conversation, images, picture of yourself, start some recognition going. Subscription is a little, because you're not getting their information, you can't retarget them, but Yelp can track them, and Yelp can remind them. If you add a check-in offer, you can start to convert them. Actually getting the offer when they come into your location or start talking to you, this is going to be on you. You have to have a core offer to offer them. Yelp is not going to do the business for you. Get them to upsell in some way, shape, or form. Again, that one is on you, but I would like to think if anybody in this room has heard me talk long enough that they've done this. Yelp is going to ask them for the review. You don't need an email autoresponder or a deal structure to do this for you. and they're going to ask them to share it with their friends for you. Does everyone see how you just created one entire bridge and a funnel on one platform? No website, no landing pages, no ClickFunnels, no Google Ads, nothing. This can all be done for free, minus whatever it's going to cost you to offer a check-in offer. That's going to be something that you have to put together as an opportunity.
But you don't have to have a check-in offer.
It's like not having a lead magnet.
No, I understand.
You don't have to have one, but you should.
But if you have good reviews,
If you have a lead magnet, if you have a check-in offer, your conversion rates for cold audiences especially are going to be significantly higher.
Okay.
Hands down.
Got it.
Like that's the part that makes the business double. I mean, we can drive traffic. My company, the one that we did with Musical Arts Schoolhouse, spent $3,500 in ads to their website, so no offer, right?
right.
I can't spend more than $1,800 a month if I wanted to now because we've tightened the ad and they have an offer. So people don't and just kind of hang out. They immediately, oh, I need to give information. And then as soon as I have their information in that system, ping, 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 I'm going to get you to the next step, the next step, the next step. Number 3, how to get your competitor customers to flip to the good side. This is a free Yelp page that I've just told you how to do. What's right here? The word ad. Ad. These are their direct competitors. Advertising on your page. Anybody want to take the ads off your page?
Yes.
You can do that. Now that costs money. That costs money. That's $75 all by itself. But you get to take the ads off, you get to choose the images, you get to insert a video if you have one, and they can no longer advertise, and you get to really work with the specialty section and add a call to action to your site instead of the ads.
Is that $75 a month or a year?
A month. Per location. Per location.
Per competitive ad or all ads?
Oh, that takes all ads off your page.
Okay.
That'd be like having your competitors' ads on your website.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm like, man, I see how you are. You offer a free service, but you go make them pay for those ads to be removed.
Could I pay $80 to wind up on my competitor's page?
I'm going to get there.
Oh.
What would you pay for a pro video for your business? Anybody done an actual video where somebody comes out and films?
3,000 to 6,000.
You're very close. We go 4 to 7.
Okay.
And that just depends on how much editing and if there's B-roll or not. You add B-roll at 7,000. Custom content, someone to write the content for you, who knows what they're doing. We do that for a little less, $300 for a Yelp page. Marketing strategy, $3,500. What about a brand guide? I don't actually, ours is close to 1,000. We added on to the strategy. One of our partners for national brands is $35,000. Growth workshop, these are the easy ones, right? $200 for that and business growth networks. Right there, $12,000 plus. And I use the conservative numbers. Oh, this is going to be good. See what happens when I copy paste my stuff in? Come on. Now I hit it too many times. It's like, I don't love you anymore.
Do you love them any less?
You know what? If it works with me, I'll be nicer. What would you pay for all that done for you? What would be worth to a small business owner?
$1,000.
Plus $750 in Yelp ad spend with no ads, and your ads show up on your competitors' pages. That's how much it cost.
Wasn't that far off.
You weren't. The ability to create an entire funnel. Rand's like, I can't do it. You're still in a different growth mode. If you are already doing business, and this particular client that we ran it for, they were dropping in business significantly every month. Remember I said I made an accident and in 3 days I doubled leads? Leads on Yelp are way different than Google. On Google, if 100 people advertise, the price gets jacked way up. On Yelp, there's only so many slots. And like my clients literally bought out the entire market. So whatever minus whatever their competitors were already doing, we bought all the rest, right? Well, apparently most people's budgets run out towards the end of the month because they put that spending cap on it, right? I didn't know that everything starts at the beginning of the month, and I started it 3 days before at the end of the month. Spent like $300 of budget out of my pocket. In those 3 days, doubled the leads. Their competitors were not advertising. Their ads on, like some of them were complete doubles, some of them broke the chart. I should have put that picture up. And that's by getting the enhanced profile and advertising. So again, I'm gonna come back to what I asked in the beginning. I don't care if you don't spend any money, all right? If you will just promise me, because I'm getting very frustrated with small businesses focusing on awareness tactics that do not work, at least go put in your free Yelp profile. Can I ask that much? Okay. Build that one bridge all the way through. Any questions? That was close.
It's good.
I'm just going to add a couple, 2 or 3 small things because I'm the Yelp user.
User as a business or a consumer?
Business.
Okay.
But I can tell you that when you get a message that, I don't know how it got to be this way, but they'll tell you on your page how long you take to respond to them. And then some people have a different time frame. Another thing that they also do is that if someone gives you a review, Yelp will tell them they have to put down a certain number of stars on it. If they don't put the stars on it, they won't publish their review. So you have to tell them to do that. Email them back to your first day and do that. And one other small thing. Oh yeah, this is what I get a lot. Every time someone puts a review on, Yelp calls me up and starts trying to get me to buy advertising.
So they're going to slow that down.
Yeah.
They're going to move to a partner program.
How you know there's a 212 area code from New York?
There you go.
That's the guy. Not Graham.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
There's another one from Phoenix.
And I do Yelp reviews on almost every restaurant,
As a
even
consumer.
fast food, as a consumer that I go to.
I do too. Or used
I
to.
would say that I get a response from that restaurant or fast food, posts, and I see it 80% of the time. They thank you for the review.
Yeah, because it's a good review.
Right. I've never given a really bad review,
I've
but I
gotten-
give them a balanced review.
I'm
if
not
the
allowed-
bathroom smelled terrible, I tell them that.
I'm not allowed to review anymore as a partner. That was one of the things I had to give up because to make the reviews look legit, keep that honesty and integrity in there. But in all the reviews I wrote before then, which were several, I've only had one response.
Really?
And it was a year later to a negative
Wow.
review. What was yours?
I'm still waiting on the negative response. Did I understand you to say that because some people only pay for X amount of hits, that when they hit that number, they don't get anything for the rest of the month? And you
If they exceed their budget.
Right. And you signed up and started it on 3 days before the end of the month and were
Yeah.
amazed at the number. Can you pick the date that your run starts?
It's the moment you sit down. So you cannot pre-schedule it, but the moment you sit down and you say, start ads at this much per day with a max of this,
Right.
then yes, you can pick that day. But then you have to turn around and turn it off and on and off and on.
Okay.
But the ad spend, it shot up really quick. Like I got a phone call and she's like, Jenna, did you know? And I was like, no, I didn't know. I had to start it on the first of the month. I'll eat that cost. The lesson was well worth the $233 or whatever.
I
it
think
was.
one of the cool things about Yelp is, like, if we're looking at a restaurant and we go to the Yelp page, it'll tell me it's closed now.
Yeah.
And if y'all do want a free audit or know someone who does want a free audit, no charge if they say they heard it here today.
Cool.
Come back and, you're ending it?
No, I'm turning it at you.
Oh, I was going to say, I was going to tell you come back in the frame. So
Oh.
anyway, let's give Jenna a hand.
Yep.
And Rob has another question. Go ahead.
Has Yelp changed their business model over the last 5 years? Because it sounds totally different than the original Yelp.
In what way?
Their advertising, doing with people such as yourself?
Okay, so the partner program is brand new. We're talking, we were one of the first few they reached out to. This is brand new to 2018, I believe, or just that maybe November of last year is when it started. But of course that takes time. You have to train everybody. You have to get them to sign on. I know already that they've already kicked a few partners out because on the side with businesses that they're totally affiliated with, they were combining them with the business owner and asking for reviews, which is a big no-no. So they're holding us highly accountable to make sure reviews are honest, that they're not doing things like even Chuck does where he asks, you cannot ask for a review at all on Yelp whatsoever. As you can say, visit our Yelp site, you can say, we have a check-in offer, which will start connecting everything together. You cannot ask for a review. So I know Nielsen, something like that, some fancy think tank did probably part of the lawsuit, came in and did a complete audit of their entire company and how it works. They sat down and did market research with all their competitors, their consumers and their business owners, to see what is loved, what is hated, just like I would want my companies to do in a market strategy, and they've addressed those issues. And they're trying to grow a business. I know just some of the private dealings that we've had already separately, I've tested. I told you I was threatened. And that person literally told me, who's the CEO of Yelp? I'm going to call him and watch. Nothing's going to happen. And so I went to her. I was like, is that true? If he's reported, if he's a $200 million business, can he call the CEO? And she's like, oh my God, if I told our CEO that happened, he would be livid. And they put a giant red banner that says, that these reviews are no good. We're waiting though. We're going to wait a month for that. I'd like to not have my business attacked.
Brian?
There's one other thing that Jen had mentioned a while ago, and I from experience, so far for me, I've been very, very lucky. I do have 5 stars. I don't have any problems at all.
You're not lucky, you're good.
Yeah, but here's the thing was too. I've also read the 1 and 2 star reviews. You have to be very careful with people when you write a review and write anything about you, because sometimes when you go back and read the 1, 2, and 3 stars, some of them are like, I didn't have a damn thing to do with what he did.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's one of those weird
Right.
kind of reviews like, why'd y'all even leave it on there? That this doesn't have to do. You have to kind of see what people are trying to say that they're not really saying, you know what I mean?
Like I said, if you're getting a bad review and you're having a visceral defensive reaction or it makes no sense, find an unbiased, nice person, like a customer service oriented person, not me, and have them help you write the review or the response, or just write it for you. I can tell you right now, like somebody complained that my client, was sending too many emails at, one every other day, after they had immediately started the conversation. And, my response is like, did you not see the giant freaking unsubscribe button at the bottom? That would be a little passive aggressive. Find someone nice.
Really strange. You can kind of watch people really.
So anyway, well, I appreciate everybody's questions. We are getting close to the end here. So one of the advantages of being part of this group, Richardson Plano Networkers, is you have access to the 900 and some people in this community electronically as well as physically. The other thing is, if you're part of our Business Growth Network Insiders, you have ready access to Jenna and myself on a regular basis, and that doesn't cost a lot of things. If you look at the price tag and you say, hey, I want to do this, but I'm not ready to spend, that's okay. The key is continue to pursue, get information. This was an area that I thought Jenna could educate us on. She is going to start monetizing and work for marketing, and I think it's definitely worth considering. It's good no matter whether you do something or not.
There's a free option.
It's good to be free, get education. It's good to understand what the options are and what you can do. And getting started, even just setting up, what was worth the time for anybody here is go see if you've got a Yelp page out there already and claim it. Yeah. And fill out your information. And if you don't have one, but you have a physical location, and maybe that physical location is your home office or whatever, that's not out of the question if you're really looking for local clientele, that you want them to begin to do it so people can do it. Because if they're looking for management consultants, if you don't know who you are, number one, that's a different animal, but kind of not. okay? Because professional services, whether you're lawyers or doctors or whatever, people look for reviews. I'm changed insurance companies and I'm gonna have to find new doctors because all my Baylor docs don't take what I've got now. So I'm gonna go, as I look, and I say, okay, these guys are now in my network, I'm gonna look at those professionals. Now doctors, what's more important than your health? You know, who you're gonna consult with, okay? So Yelp is not a frivolous thing, and it's not something that should, because that's why we shared it here today.
The users take it seriously. So even a B2B type company, or insurance is the first one I just thought of when that was said. If somebody wants to leave a review, good or bad, they'll go create the page for you. That's where I was. Somebody just created it for me. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Claim it. I might as well have some control over your name out there, because not all review sites are going to let you respond.
Yeah, it's like domains.
Okay, so announcements, we have a Tuesday mixer. So your dollars, the excess of your dollars are going for the meetup site, which a lot of people find us on, as well as the excess goes to our quarterly mixer. This coming Tuesday at Snuffers on Campbell Road is our next one. There, I think I've got about 30 some RSVPs. I think the lowest we've had in recent history has been 50. We had 55 or 60 at the last one, and that was, we actually charged $5 to go there, and we're not charging anything for this one. So we will have the first 50 people there will have a drink ticket that will be funded by us, and then we'll have some hors d'oeuvres there, and then we'll have happy hour pricing. And if you've ever been to Snuffers, it's pretty reasonable. So the 5 to 7, 5 to 7:30 actually.
Parking lot fills up.
But yeah, Mary's a little over the top on that. Actually, there's plenty of parking around there. You just, if you want to park like right in front of the place, you need to get there early, because when dinner traffic starts to come, there's a lot of new restaurants in there, and they're getting a lot of traffic. So, but there's parking behind it, so don't freak out about that. That's not a reason to go, not to go. And again, for our mixers, bring guests. You know, that's totally fine. You can bring somebody that you want to introduce to the group. That's part of what we do. Okay, that's part of why we do the mixer, is to give people a chance, and maybe they can't figure out how to get over here at lunchtime, but you know, a lot of people that come to our mixers end up figuring out how to get here at lunch afterwards, because we are a pretty awesome group of people. So anyway, so the only other thing is next Friday on the calendar shows Doug Grady. Doug reached out to me, and he's not going to be in town, and since I don't pay him to come speak and he gets paid from the stage, you know, I'm not going to pay him to come to Dallas. So we will be rescheduling Doug when he makes it to Dallas, and he will stop in and say. So next Friday we don't have a speaker. We will have something next Friday. I realize we also have the mixer and the Wednesday meeting. Then we will have a Friday session, just doing a little bit of brainstorming with Randy and Grover, and just we may have kind of like a forum or a work, you know, a round table.
It will be worthwhile.
I can guarantee you this: knowing the people that'll be in the room, it'll be worth being here. Okay, so, and if you happen to know somebody that would really like to get at us and speak teach us something next Friday, let me know ASAP. But otherwise, we will have a topic. And again, Jenna, thanks again for sharing with us. It was awesome, and as always, a lot of information. Always more information than I can process. So that's one of the reasons why I'm glad we have it on Facebook recorded. So
She comes up with stuff faster than I can figure out how to use it.
yeah, well, that's part of the challenge of